Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
I'ma keep rocking, the problems are solved.
Yeah, I'ma keep rocking while filling my body up with these toxins. Eyes on the prize, homie, I'm locked in. Motherfucker, plan B, ain't no other option. This been the plan and I won't ever stop it. Gotta get it by any means. I can't chill, I'm too focused on getting green. Stuff my pockets with so much it split the seams. Now it's reality, no longer a dream. Man, fuck all that fantasy shit. I got tired of counting up sheep. Now I'm counting money. Y'all won't think it's funny when y'all see me buy a new house on the beach. Retire my mother and father, leave millions for both of my daughters for when I'm deceased. My brother sell drugs, he risking his freedom. My goal is to get his ass off of the streets, yeah. You don't know what I've been through to get me to where I'm at. Shit, I still got a long way to go, but I promise myself I keep grinding and never look back. My counterattack to battle anxiety. I just need rap, I don't need notoriety. I need to feel all the music inside of me so I can bring it to life. It's a high to me, damn. So much on my mind, I gotta get it out of me before I snap, yeah. I just play a beat and then I'm in the clouds, ain't ever coming back, yeah. Let the pen bleed all over that paper. Life on the line and I'm willing to wager any and everything so I can make it. It's theory.
All right. Welcome back.
MisFitNation. MisFitNation. The MisFitNation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the MisFitNation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the MisFitNation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the MisFitNation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, Stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the MisFitNation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_MisFitNation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. Welcome to the MisFitNation Mashup Holiday Special and the Season 4 Wrap-Up. I'm your host, Rich LaMonica. To my top left, you have Jake Lacey Holland, and to his side is his cohort, his partner in crime, Stephen Cagney LaMonica. We're going to wrap up this year. Although we do have one more show to record on Thursday, this is the best night for us all to get together, have a drink, and reflect on this season and the 400th episode that came out this year. Fellas, how we doing?
Good evening, Mr. The Nation. We are doing good. Jake?
I'm doing great. I've had my supper. I'm in the house. It's warm. Got some rain headed this way, but hey, it is what it is.
It seems like the rain is not going to stop here.
I got rain tomorrow, and I think winter weather on Friday. Who the hell knows? But it's been in the 50s. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting into the winter weather yet here. Hopefully, not till after the holidays or after I fly back from Puerto Rico. Jake, has the Farmer's Almanac said anything?
It froze up once here pretty good, and that's all I need. I don't need any more.
All right, fellas, before we go further, I have 2 more fallen officers that we lost in the last 2 days from 2 different states, of course. So we can't go, like we said, we went after the election, a week or 10 days after the election without losing anybody. Now we're losing them in droves again. So the first one is Sergeant Elio Diaz of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Florida. End of watch was Sunday, December 15th. His assailant was shot and killed. Praise be to God. Please keep his co-workers, his friends, his family in your thoughts and prayers. And then just yesterday, we lost Detention Officer Isaiah Bias of the Ellis County Sheriff's Office in Texas. End of watch yesterday, of course. He was transporting a prisoner to the hospital, and that prisoner assaulted him and killed him. The prisoner was apprehended and again charged with murder. So let's keep both those departments, their families, their friends in your thoughts and prayers. And Jake, I'm going to hand it over to you now to talk about Johnny.
This week in 2005, December 19th, lost a great friend, Johnny Mason. He was from Texas. I was actually his instructor at EOD school. Thought a lot of him. Actually remembered him. You only ever remember the excellent students or the dirt bags, and he fell into the excellent student model. And it ended up that when he got ready to leave EOD school, he says, "I'm going to Fort Campbell." And I'm like, "Well, guess what? I'm going to be there too. So you haven't seen the last of me." We trained a lot together. We hung out a lot together. But then one fateful night, down around Fob St. Michael in Baghdad, Johnny lost his life. He saved some lives while doing it. He was responding to an IED. They responded to that IED, then come back to their safe area, and they had another one that was there in amongst their security. He got everybody out of the way, and before he could get out of there, it detonated. And I'll never forget you, my friend.
Let's drink up, boys. Johnny. It's hard when we lose one. It's harder when we lose one that we're close to. And Jake, we salute you for praising Johnny today and continue to say his name. I hung his picture up yesterday without even knowing a connection to you. And every day we do that. Every week we do that in the office. It kind of helps us to say their names when we do it and to keep their memories alive within us. So cheers to Johnny's family that's still with us and to all his brothers that are still fighting the fight.
Thank you.
Steve, we're going to kick off with you. We're going to let you go first tonight since you're always the silent assassin on this show. And we'll let you. What we're doing tonight, we're going to highlight at least three guests that we really liked that were on our show and stood out to us. And Steve, like I said, you're our silent assassin. You jump in when you have to. Usually you sit back there, you laugh at Jake, and you say things later. You're going first tonight. Let's get it going.
I'm not going first. I'm sitting here quiet like I always do.
Let's get that body rocking.
I honestly, I think it's great that you started this and you ran with this for so damn long. And then all of a sudden me and Jake jumped in and we've made it a bigger family. And we get to have fun and come in here and interview people weekly. I think it's really just great, man. I have people in my mind that jumped out, that I like talking to. We had the collector,
Mr. Steiner.
yes, Brandon Steiner. We had a nice, great chat with him. We talked about my Hess trucks. We talked about our
baseball
comic
cards.
books and baseball cards. It was just an awesome conversation. We had Brandon Cooper. the paranormal guy.
Paranormal dude, yeah.
Shook me up a little bit. You know, it's stuff you don't want to believe, and then you listen to stories, and more you're like, damn. and you know, it's just great meeting these people and talking to them. You know, I work retail. I talk to people every day, and it's, hey, how you doing? We go about our business. We do what we're doing, and here you're having conversations, and you're finding out their background and their story, and the books they're writing, and the things that they're doing in their life, and how their life was screwed up, and they're trying to rebuild it. And hopefully, we're helping them and others get their act together. You know.
Yes, definitely, 100%. And who's your third?
Who was my third? Betsy Ross.
That's
She was fun to
a
talk to.
steal. That's a steal there. All right.
Yeah.
I think both of you had a great show on that one. I was able, you know, I get to sit back and watch you two in action. So I got to see, that was the first time, Steve, you actually got animated in a show. I mean, literally animated. You yelled at a guest. And that's when you first got out. You were the silent assassin that night. You stepped up and you gave it to a foot stomp on the throat.
Yeah, basically, I ran in and I dropped the bomb and I walked away. But it was something that needed to be said, and it really was just bothering me over and over that she kept saying, "Oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that." But you put a fucking uniform on. You were Army, you know.
She's a veteran. She deserves praise for that.
Every day. You know, you all deserve that. Anybody that put a uniform on, sign that damn paper, deserve it every day. It doesn't matter if you swept the damn floor, you know, if you clean the toilets. You are military. You know?
Definitely. And you had one other one you picked up. You said "girl on the floor," the drunk girl,
Yeah.
my friend, Elizabeth Kowalik, good, like my little sister. Got to work with her. You got to see me and her interact on the show. It was because it was a ToosDay Crue show. It was one of the ones Jake couldn't make it, and you got to see me live with her, and you seen us two interact, and I think it was a pretty good show.
It was a very good show. The stories were phenomenal, and you know, but that's the one thing that stuck in my head: the drunk girl on the floor. That's why I could not for the life. I don't remember names. I know faces. That's why I put it that way. The drunk girl on the floor. That's exactly who I remember her as.
Definitely. And Jake, since Steve went first, of course you're going to roll second. You had Betsy Ross on yours, so.
Well, I want to add a little bit more on Betsy.
All right.
Well, since I'm one of the three of us that can read, I actually bought her book. And if you think that the interview with her was good, crack her book open.
The fight series. Yes.
Yeah, the fight series. Man, the resiliency of this woman. I mean, should be shouting her name from the rooftops. And I'll reiterate what Steven said. You know, she was going on and on and on about, you know, well, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And it's like, you know, shut up. You did do this. You raised your right hand. You said you would, and she did. And and I'm glad that she got that. I hope she sells 1 million books. And if us being on here right now, somebody listening and somebody, you know, we sell 1 book for her tonight, that's, you know, mission accomplished. But just a great story of resiliency, grabbing yourself by the bootstraps and pulling yourself up. And I wish her the best of luck in the world. My second,
and I hope the VA
Tim
stops screwing her over. So that'd be great.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I haven't, she popped up in my Facebook feed once or twice, and I haven't chatted with her to see how the VA's been doing her, but yeah, I don't know how.
Once or twice, it's like 30 posts a day everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I don't,
She's very active.
I catch her when she tags the MisFitNation. I don't think I have sent her a friend request, so I probably ought to do that. But my second, United States Marine Corps EOD veteran, Tim Colmer. He's an artist. And his story, he got into art and painting, went to art school as something to relax him and try to chase the demons out of his head. And it caught on. If you look at some of his art, you can definitely tell that he has gotten better at his craft. And he's actually selling some paintings now. I've got 2 of them here in the house. Our t-shirts that I got us, Rich, with the skull and the top hat on it, that's a painting of his. And he continued, and he's always posting about getting invited to art shows, getting invited to gallery openings, and getting to display his art. And there's more and more people. He's got this thing. He loves to paint dogs. Yes. And I've got a picture of our 2 dogs hanging on the wall, some of his first that he did. But I'm going to send him another picture of Silvio. He did one where he's got a dog in a suit sitting at a dinner table that just looks amazing. And I think old Silvio would look good like that. But
and have you sitting on the floor next to him. That'd be good.
Yeah, begging for scraps. Yeah. Yes. That would be cool. That would be cool. And my third, a dear friend of mine, I've known him probably since about 1995, Will Eller. He come on one of our Veterans Day, and we was talking about some friends of ours that are no longer with us, and some that are. Mm-hmm. And I've always loved Will. First time I met him, me and him got along. His journey, he's just had a great journey in life, and married, kids, grandkids, and he's just a great all-around guy. And I enjoyed the interview, and I know right now, if I ever needed anything, I could probably call him on the phone right now, and he would probably pull in my driveway in however many hours it took him to drive from Texas. That's just the kind of guy he is. And his transformation, has just been amazing. Adjusting well to getting out of the military, after some struggles, but he just continues to get better every day. And I love him. And that was probably, that's one of my favorite interviews, was the one I did with him. And I've got a few in there, and I'm probably going to come up with a few more while we're talking. I'm sure we're going to talk about more than the 3 of them.
Oh, definitely.
But I'll pass it on to you, Rich.
Okay, before you pass it on, Rich, you called me the silent assassin. My biggest problem, if you brought somebody on that worked retail that I knew what you're talking about EOD, you're talking about this. You guys served. I'm in the background. I don't know what the F you're talking about most of the time.
Listen.
You guys throw codes out, and we did this and we did that, and I'm sitting here, and my eyes friggin' jumping. I'm like,
we thought you just had threats.
When I do catch on, I'll jump in and say something. We need to just make a bigger mix. I'm getting sick because normally this is you 2 against the world, and it's like, okay, I'm here, comedy relief or something,
That's why I send you all their bios before, so you can read up on them. You don't have to know all the vernacular, just know something about them, and that's what I want you both to. You guys have a good play off each other, which is pretty good. But like you said, when Jake is more comfortable, he talks more, and when you're more comfortable, like with the Steiner feller, the collector dude, you were all over that because you were able to talk about your trucks, about the old comic books that we had and stuff like that. But then you kind of shy off because you think you're offending someone. Just jump in there and do it. You've watched Hurt Locker, so you know everything about EOD. You've watched The Rock, so you know everything about my job. So
hey,
it's all in there.
If you've got kids watching right now, turn them away from the screen for just a second. I'm gonna talk a little bit of sign language.
And the other hard part is once Jake does get going, like with questions and stuff. I go to hit a button, they bring a question up. We have a question. And I'm like, okay, I'm just sitting here quiet.
Raise your hand.
He's like, hey, my turn, please.
You guys might have to do a practice session offline and go through it.
Yeah, hey, Steven, you can always just jump in, just tell me shut the hell up, and I'll
There you
back off and let you take it over.
Well, just listening to Jake talk, like the shirts he got you to, and I'm on the wrong coast. I don't get the whiskey. I don't get the shirts.
You can drive down. We drove all the way to West Virginia to pick up a bug. We didn't even drink.
You could have called me. I would have drove down 6 hours to hang out.
That was our first road trip we didn't drink on.
We drove 4 hours to Eastern Kentucky the other day and didn't even play the radio the first half of the trip.
That's true. True. Actually, more than the first half. Most of the trip.
Yeah, and then
just jaw jacking the whole way. So I mean, it happens. So Steve, you'll get more comfortable is what I'm saying.
No, normally when I'm in the car with you, we're talking and the music's on. So I'm in Jake's special.
We can't hear each other.
Can't hear. Yeah.
You can't hear in your left ear. I can't hear in my right. So it's ridiculous to even try.
I tell people that story and they laugh hysterically. I'm like, we're driving and we're looking at each other. We're not looking at the road because I can't hear and you can't hear.
So when me and Jake are in the car, it's usually the little giggle right before one of us smells a fart. And then
and we did drive all the way to West Virginia and back
without dropping.
And that never happened.
Well, the boss was with you, wasn't she?
The fear factor was
that
in
would
the
be
back
why.
seat.
Yeah.
Fear factor was in the back seat. We couldn't do it. So that was definitely a reason. Tyler's on. What's going on, Tyler?
Oh, he said, look at this, guys. I'm like, I thought he was trying to post something. I'm like, where is it?
Oh no. He's probably making fun of us.
Cheers, Tyler.
Cheers.
So as we wrap up this season and we go through things, before I even get into my three, let's think of all the things we've accomplished this year. So first, me and Steve worked in NASCAR race, of course, like we do every year. And this year, hopefully, Jake comes with us. He's allowed to come hang out and have a guys' weekend. And maybe none of us will get arrested. Maybe one of us will. I don't know. But we'll be down there and Steve will drink beer with a straw. That's going to happen. That's what he does.
It's going to happen. It's going to piss you off.
But we'll have fun. We worked the NASCAR race. The MisFitNation represented. Then I also got to work the Colorado Buffaloes versus Kansas State football game. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish beating Florida State game. Georgia Bulldogs beating Tennessee Volunteers game. Then this week I got to sit in the press box for the Army-Navy game. I watched Army lose. Navy friends, this is your year. You got it. You beat the turd off us this year. Next year we got you, and it'll happen our way next year, and we'll be in Baltimore doing that. We've already invited back to that. So that's a lot of accomplishments just right there, getting into the sports world because we all like sports. Well, Steve, sort of NASCAR is his big sport, but me and Jake, we talk about sports all day at work. I don't think we'll ever get baseball because we're too little to get baseball, but we'll get in there too. And then, of course, we had our.
Oh man, I speaking of that, I would love to get a Cardinals game.
If we start reaching out, maybe they'll let us in.
Maybe.
I mean, you're a Cardinals fan. You know how to speak Cardinal. I don't know how to speak Cardinal. I know how to speak Mets. Just give someone a 15-year contract for $700 million. That he'll probably play 3 years and be hurt and gone forever.
3 years, probably 2 games.
If he gets there, if he gets 2 games, that's true. Our 400th episode was U.S. Army veteran Crystal Thomas, and that was a great show. It was great to have an Army veteran as our 400th episode, and to be able to share that with you guys in the chat, and have you guys have your show at the time, the ToosDay crew. So I was honored to have you guys there and be able to run that stuff for us. Yeah, it's a good evening, y'all. Spell correct. I don't know. I'm not sure what we did wrong there. All right. Okay, we'll try to spell right. Thanks, Tyler.
I think he was talking about him being able to spell correctly.
Oh, spell correct.
Oh, okay.
I got it. Woo! All right. Oh, look at this, guys. I understand what you're saying. Now look at these guys. Yes, Tyler. I got you now. Now I'm seeing the right things. So I'm going to start off my three. No particular order, but I'm going to save my best one for last, of course. I think the first one I'm going to bring up is Rob Diedrich. He came on during Veterans Week, U.S. Navy veteran. He went to rehab multiple times during his Navy career, and he's now 15 years sober. He's an advocate for veterans coming out and being sober and going through a 12-step program. And he laughs about it. He was telling the stories about, being that young E3, drunk off his ass and not knowing what he was doing and all that stuff. And Jake, we both seen that young E3. We might have been that young E3, E4, and
yes,
and been in that same situation. And we've seen many of our peers do the same stuff and never get out of it and had to get out of the Army because of that. Somehow his command was able to help him and keep fighting for him to stay in. And he made it through a career. So that was a good story, I think, for him. And then my second one, me and Steve hosted another ToosDay Crue show, Jason Murph. Grill your ass off.
Yeah.
That dude, very impressive. He worked with our man, Mr. Gillum, at the Old Guard. And Jay Gillum and him worked at the Old Guard, and he cooked for the guys up there. And he got out of the military, moved back to Texas, and started this business, and it's exploded. He's been on Good Day America, whatever it's called. I think it's Good Day America. He's been on there, he's selling his stuff, and then he sent us a sample pack. And most times you get a sample pack, it's like little bottles about this big of spices, maybe a little like ketchup pack of the sauce. He sent us like bottles like this big.
It was like pound and a half jars. So
they're huge jars, and they're good. The ones I had are good. Jake, I gave you the pork and beef ones. Steve, you got a full set, I believe. And the chicken ones are delicious. I can tell you that. I don't know if you've tried yours, Jake.
I haven't.
How did you like the barbecue sauce?
Haven't had a chance to use them yet.
Yeah, it's different, the barbecue sauce, but it's good.
Yeah,
it has I guess a more towards the side of the rum.
Yeah,
flavor to it. So it's still good. I thought it was good anyway.
Rum and barbecue sauce.
Yeah, Sailor Jerry's rum. Sailor Jerry's rum.
Ooh.
And his barbecue sauce. It's really good. I thought it was good. It's good on certain things. So like grilled chicken is good on. It's not good on, like, say, a fried chicken. So I can only talk about chicken. You guys can talk about the other meats. I can't.
You can talk about them. You just can't eat them.
I start twitching when I talk about them. So it's a little weird.
I'll tell you something. Possum.
Possum, or squirrel, even, or whatever. Whatever you eat this week.
Now, squirrel's got to be white gravy.
It's white gravy. And you put it on the half slice of bread, like shit on the shingle?
No, biscuits.
Oh, biscuits. I'm biscuits.
Come on now.
Dang, my bad. I'm not up on my squirrel. My bad. Steve, I'm sure Steve likes to eat squirrel up there in New Jersey.
No, not at all.
There's probably one sitting right behind his window there in the tree.
It's like 100 of them out there. You hear them scattering around all freaking day long.
And probably
for a while they were in my attic. There was a hole in the roof.
Oh, those are wonderful up there. I had that happen to my neighbor down the block, and they had to bring the guy with the great mullet and the great ball cap on to go in there and get him. He had fun time up there killing squirrels and bringing them out. My number one guest for the year is Michelle Black, the author of Sacrifice, Gold Star widow. Her husband was a SF soldier with Team 3212 in Niger. They got ambushed. Him and two other gentlemen were killed in that attack. Me and Jake got to meet one of their teammates. Oh, I knew his teammate. Jake got to meet him, Carl, from Warriors in Motion. And that brought it all together. When I told Michelle I met him, she called me right away and said, the Army is a small world. I said, the Army is definitely a small world. And it gets smaller when things happen like that because everyone seems to know someone with networking. And if you have not read the book Sacrifice, you need to read that book Sacrifice because it even got Gwen mad. Gwen got angry listening to that book. She wanted to reach out and chokeslam people. And that's usually just for me, those emotions. But that came out to want to chokeslam the chain of command.
Wow.
So I don't know if you guys got to read that book or not.
I have not.
I'm going to have Jake read it to me one night because he's the reader in the room.
He is the one of three that can read. That's what he told us. Because there is three of us, and he's the one.
His glasses read better than mine, is what he said.
That's right.
How many years of thickness do you have in those glasses?
Hey, actually, mine are pretty thin.
I mean, you got the same glasses. I don't know how you guys pulled
Dude,
this
they're
off.
not that thick because you took them off. Your eyes are really like that big, and then you put them back on there like that. So
I don't know how
they're
you
not
two
thin.
pulled it off to get the same glasses, but
Well,
kudos on you.
It just depends on which of the three panes I look through when I'm using them, how big my eyes are, Steve. But you was talking about the book Sacrifice, and I cannot remember this lady's name. She helps people write. We interviewed her, and the book about the white supremacist.
Oh, yes.
That's another amazing read. I could only read that about a chapter at a time because of some of the crap this dude did.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was wow.
I can't remember her name either, but I remember that was the first thing she brought up with his book. It was his book. It was the first person that she really was emotional about talking about. And I think that really got her going in helping others to write as well.
Yeah, and an amazing thing about that, he talks in his book about when he turned his life around, the Simon Wiesenthal Center reached out to him. And they vetted him for like weeks before they finally said, okay, this guy's for real. He wants to turn his life around. And then they kind of let him into the inner sanctum. And yeah, that was a pretty wild transformation there.
100%, and especially since he left that brotherhood to come into the threat of not being in it anymore and having a target on his back the rest of his life.
Yes. Well, Rich, I'm gonna talk a little bit about what Stephen kind of alluded to. You started this thing and you was running. And I remember the day that you kind of approached and said, hey, how would you like to do this? And I was kind of apprehensive at first, but I want to thank you. It's been an honor. I really enjoy this. I don't know, I get to meet all kind of people. And besides meeting people, some of the guests, or actually some of the viewers we have, and some of the great questions we get that pop up, it's just it's amazing. I love it.
Did anybody else? I'm sorry. Did anybody else see those links float on my screen?
I just see
I'm losing my mind
for some reason.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
It's always yours. I don't know.
I put my beer can down, and all of a sudden things were floating on my screen.
It says something about you. Let Jake continue.
I'm sorry, Jake. My attention deficit disorder. I just saw things floating on my screen.
There for a minute, I thought I'd been licking postage stamps or something. But anyway,
those are acid tabs. But anyway,
but
I'm all right.
But anyway, Rich, I just want to thank you. It's been an honor, and I'm looking forward to kicking off the new year and doing this again.
Yeah, I appreciate the two of you stepping up. I don't think you guys thought you had a choice when I said, do you guys want to host your own show? And after, I think you subbed for me for one when I was in JRTC, and it was the Stanowitz girl. I forget her first name. But you guys, you knocked that out the ballpark, because I was in the great swamps of JRTC at the time. And you guys knocked it out the blocks. I said, you know what? You guys been in the chat. Every show you two were in the chat like religiously. And then you did that show. I said, you know what? You guys need to have your own show. And we came up with the ToosDay Crue, and you guys have run with it. And that's, I think, in March was your first true show of your own.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's all you, and you have your own stuff on Spotify now. So you guys are getting noticed as well. Now we got to get you guys getting interviewed on other shows to bring more awareness to you two as well.
Well, I've been turning down Joe Rogan. He's called me about 5. I don't know if I can do 3 hours.
Bullshit.
Cheers to you, Jake. I don't know what you're drinking. I'm drinking an old fashioned.
What's in that mug?
He said it's Elijah Craig. I think it's Elijah. My leg is getting pulled. I mean, that's just me. I don't know. I was trying to find the name of the woman who did that book for Jake, but I can't find it in my notes here. It'll pop up as soon as we get off here.
Yeah.
Steve, if you had to think of any of your any other guest that pops into your mind, you guys had the honor of interviewing, well, who would that be?
The honor of interviewing. I don't know, but I enjoyed the guy last week that couldn't get his book published, so he opened his own friggin' publishing company. I'm like,
Mr. Graham, right?
That's the cheat code we all need. Nobody will publish my book. Let me open up my own publishing company.
Don Quixote Publishing, Don Quixote, yeah.
Yeah, Don Quixote. Yeah.
I mean, that's a way to go. And then when I first got out of the military, that was my thought was to start Green Suitcase Publishing. From my old green suitcase when we were kids. I still have it here. It's old. It has my comic books in it still. So I was going to use that as my cover for Green Suitcase Publishing. And I might do that now just so I can help other veterans get out there and get published once I figure I'd have to get financial backing, but I think that's something we all can think about doing and jump in and do that.
That was one giant cheat code.
Yeah. And if it's not working, do it yourself.
That's exactly what I said to him. I'm like, I like that cheat code.
And he was at the beginning of the episode, even before we got on, he was kind of apprehensive, thought we were going to be, I guess, evil to him or something, or the guests or the audience would be evil to him. Maybe he must have had some bad experiences.
Well, he was also turned off a little because I was having problems with my headset, and Jake had to reboot his, and he thought, "Oh, I'm walking into a shit show, basically." And then all of a sudden, it happened. And he's like, "Oh, okay, damn." They do talk. They are good. They're not great. They're good.
That was. I think I guessed you guys had a guy. I guessed you guys had Mark Casper, Tech for Troops. I think that was a good guest as well.
Tech for Troops was good. Yes, very good.
Yes,
I enjoyed him.
That was one of your earlier ones as well.
And that feller out of St. Louis that knew Nelly.
Oh yeah. What was his name? JD Mass?
Yes, that is it. JD Mass.
Ooh, man, I need to drink more because I can remember things too well. Man, all right.
You have nothing else on your mind, I'm guessing, because I'm like, I don't even know what the heck he's talking about.
It popped right into me.
You're like, let me pull his name out of my ass. Give me a second.
Yeah, I think we had JD Mass, and then we had Patrick Bleak, who was another rapper that came on, and then of course Ryan Derfeld or Theory, who I played in the beginning there, another rapper. He's a veteran that's a rapper now. Hopefully he keeps growing. He is signed to a label. He's going to play he was supposed to play a show in Chicago, kind of got canceled, so he's going to put on his own show in Chicago. He's going to get the venue and play out there. So it's good to watch him grow and sit on the sidelines and watch him grow as well.
Yes.
Jake, do you have another one?
We were there.
Yeah. We were there when he was still growing.
Now, you know how good I am with names.
Yes, I know.
I'm Steven. That's Rich.
It's like 10-second Tom.
Our young lady that was a bobsledder.
Yes. Was it
Kara? Kara. Yeah. Amazing story. Resilience. Getting knocked down, get back up again, and just driving on.
Now she's a bodybuilder now, right? Or
she's fitness and bodybuilding. Yes.
Yeah. In fact, today in the office, I typed in the chat GPT, make us a script and put our top guests on there. And she was one of the ones that came up for you too. Without any and Betsy Ross was another one that came up.
And I don't know. That just had to be because we was talking about the stuff in the office or something, and that
I have no idea.
that tablet listens to us. I swear it does.
Everything listens. They worry about the damn drones in New Jersey. Like, you hit search and you have 75 satellites following you when you put maps on, and you're worried about drones flying in the air. Really?
When you go pee out your back window, they're watching you. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Tell them.
you do that. You do that, and your phone rings. That's a little dark. You need to hydrate. They're like, what?
I always just tell them, hey, you can either point or you can laugh, but you can't point and laugh.
Yes. It's hard to do both.
It is.
I don't care who you are. I'm trying to think of another guest of mine that stood out to me. And I mean, I've been on a lot of shows. I get interviewed a lot. You two need to start getting interviewed more. And then I get to actually.
What the hell wants to interview us? You're the important one.
You two are important too. You got your own show on Tuesday, the ToosDay Crue. Remember that. You're important as well. You had the strategic veteran was on your show, Adam. Real good dude. You guys had him when I was about to go to Georgia, actually. You had him on the show. And I think you guys had a great conversation with him, and I think you both fit into Adam as well. Did you guys enjoy that conversation?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think you both were actually ready for that one as well. So.
Well, every once in a while I open my phone and I read things. So yeah.
See,
and sometimes like right now it's open, it's on a stand, and I'll sit here and I'll flip through while we're talking.
Once we got the MisFitNation emails,
yeah,
and like that's the only thing that comes to that email address. It's a little bit easier when I don't have to filter through millions of layers of spam to get to the important stuff. Because I haven't got enough emails to that email address yet for spam to pick up on it. But
that's true. I mean, I get a lot in mine, but you guys are, I guess, protected from that so far. You'll get some. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
And we'll just ignore them.
I mean, hopefully, Jeff Nelligan was another good one. Raising Resilient Kids. He wrote the book about his 4 lessons from his 3 sons. That was a good one there.
Yes, I really like that interview. That was almost to the point that if I could turn back time and kind of apply some of the stuff that I learned from him to my kids, I think that maybe I could have served my children a little better. That was a very good interview.
I have his book here. I'll bring it in for you to read it, so you can actually read. Since you read, I'll bring the book in. And I just want to reiterate that Jake does read. He does read. He's not just our Hurt Locker veteran. He does read.
Yeah, but you always get on to me because I move my mouth when I read.
Well, yeah. I understand it. This is a big word. How did this happen?
I'm actually reading the computer. You sit at the computer to Google big words.
I'm reading a real good book now. It does have pictures in the middle of it, but
in the middle of it,
is it Green Eggs and Ham?
No. It is about the Marine Corps though.
Oh. So it's a coloring book.
No, it's not for the Marine Corps. It's about the Marine Corps.
Oh.
Well, tell us about the book.
It is.
He's buffering. Give him a second.
4th Infantry Brigade, 4th Marine Infantry Brigade at Bellewood and Soissons in France in World War I. I tell you what, you get into that book, and of all the horrors that we saw in Iraq, and then you in Afghanistan, that wasn't nothing, buddy.
Yeah. I always said that our fathers and grandfathers paved the way in more ways than one for us, and Go ahead. I'll let you continue.
No, that's just all I want to say. You know, these guys are going out at night because the artillery was so bad. They would go out at night and sneak around and try to find cows or pigs to kill, drag them back to the trenches, butcher them so they could have supper. There was one time they couldn't get any water, and they come upon this little town, and I don't know how many cases of wine they found. So they drank wine. They didn't have any water, so they drank wine.
That's a way.
It's a way.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
You got to remember, they didn't have the night vision goggles. They didn't have the radios you have. They didn't have an eye in the sky.
That's what I was
They
gonna say.
had.
They didn't
They
have
had their gun. They had a bayonet, and they had the will to live. Is what they had.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was it. And the thing about it was a lot of them volunteered to go over there and were pissed off because, well, your unit is being assigned, you know, prisoner watch or whatever like that. It's like, nah, screw this. So they would desert out of their units that are doing prisoner watch and join other battalions for going to the front.
Just so they can fight. Yeah.
Just so they could fight.
And some of them were 16 and 15, saying they were 18 just to get in.
There was actually a lot that did that. They didn't want to be left behind or be not part of history. So they wanted to defend their country and go do that. Now you won't see that. You won't see that at all right now. You might see someone that's 26 joining because they want to support their country, not no 18-year-old or 16-year-old at that level.
No, not many.
No. If there is one, I'll be shocked. I'll have that shock and awe moment, and I'll probably drop my beer at that point. But
yeah,
it'll be a shock.
What I worry about now, Jake, you were 24 years, Rich, you were 22. Am I right?
25, 22.
25.
Okay, well, you're not going to see that anymore because they want their 3 or 4 and out. And I did this, and that's it. They want to be on TikTok showing videos. And
well,
you're not going to have the lifetime anymore.
There's a bigger divide. There's a bigger divide now between the lifers and the one-termers, and we see it. We see it at the office now, and you see a lot of the youngsters that they'll do the one-term active, and then some will go guard or reserve. We see that, but then there's some that just one and done. I'm out.
Right.
It isn't what I want it to be. This isn't what I can make. Way more money in the outside world right now. I can just do videos of my toes and make more money than I'm making here. This is great.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's my big worry.
I don't know. Maybe it'll get turned around. I don't know. I see it kind of around here. I'm more of a rural area than what y'all are, but these guys are patriotic, but they're not patriotic enough to raise their right hand and say, I want to go do this. Exactly. And I'm like, come on, fellas. Because, you know, and I'll admit it, I joined for one term. I was going to come in, get the college money, and bail. And 25 years later, here I am.
You were still bailing.
I was still bailing. And the realization hit me when I raised my hand and got that indefinite on my ID card.
I did that in Iraq.
Yeah, but Rich, when you signed up, Rich, when you talked to a recruiter, what did they say to you?
Me?
Did you talk to a recruiter? Rich, Jake, either one of you.
Yeah.
What did they say to you when you sat with them?
When I sat with them, they promised me the world. You know, the big selling points when I come in was the college fund and yada yada, all that. And luckily, my scores were high enough that I could actually kind of have a pick of what I wanted to do. And so, I chose observation scout helicopters and got into that. I was told, yeah, you'll be flying all the time, yada, yada, yada. And while I did fly quite a bit, it really wasn't what I thought it was. And I didn't want to be in that part of the Army. And, that's when I jumped ship and decided to get paid for blowing stuff up.
When I went, I told them that I wasn't allowed to join the infantry or armor because that's what Dad told me. Don't join infantry or armor. So it's, you'll love this MOS. And it was Chemical Operations Specialist, 54 Bravo at the time. And he showed all this cool stuff, blowing smoke, doing blowing fire, doing fire, smoke, and decon. And he said, you'll have all this fun. And I said, okay, that sounds like a cool thing. So I signed up, and I didn't get to a chemical unit forever. I made staff sergeant. I did 8 months in a chemical unit, and I was already PCSing back to going to the infantry again in the engineers. So I did infantry, engineers, armor, and then finally at the end of my career, I got to a chemical unit. But their sales pitch really wasn't for me because I was in college at the time. Loan repayment was the big thing. Loan repayment, and then GI Bill. I never paid for the GI Bill, but I got the GI Bill. And Lexi was able to use that, so that's the best thing that came out of that. Once that's the only thing that whatever number, that's 44 was his number. He made that decision to make you able to pass it off to your dependents, and I passed mine right off to Lexi that day, and that paid for her college, so no debt for her coming out of college.
That's what I did for I split mine between my two kids. Yeah. And it was great.
Well, the reason I ask is, like I've said before, they went to Claire's school when she was in high school, and she decided to go sit down. I think it was the Navy, and I went with her. And all they were pushing was trying to get her to sign, so they got somebody to sign, and they were pushing school. Nothing about a career, nothing about this. Career never came out of the person's mouth. Sign, and you get to go to college. You'll pay for your college. That's all they were pushing. And and that's why I see the difference now than when you two were in,
And I think a lot of that is a lot of recruiters are there against their own free will, and they just want to get those numbers so they don't get fired, and they do what they can to get those numbers and stay either level as on par or above par, so they don't get canceled and they move forward. So getting a number of a kid coming out of out of high school, even if it's to join the Guard or Reserve, that's a number for them. Get that number and move forward. So they don't sell the career; they sell the taste. You get the taste, just like a heroin dealer. They sell that taste, and if you once you get hooked, they keep selling to you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a car dealer. They're selling you a Lexus. They want you to upgrade to this package. They're not telling you how much it's going to cost you to do things. They're not telling you anything. This is your Lexus, and this is what you want.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Steve.
I think that
we'll rotate back to you now. We have 7 minutes left in the show, and now we're gonna have you look forward. You can look into your future. Turn those glasses to the future now. Since you got them on, oh my! Look at those eyes. You can see them. Look to the future. Season 5. I mean, we're already recording season 5. We're rocking season 5 right now. We have scheduled out into February, actually into March, I think, for you guys on Tuesdays. What do you want to see the Misfit Nation as a whole grow in season 5 and into the future?
I don't want to see it grow. Maybe I want to see me and Jake on the opening credits.
You don't want to see that.
Just, 2 military vets and a veteran wife. I'm like, I'm nobody's wife. But anyway. I don't know. I think we need to try and work harder to find a sponsor and actually have people backing us and maybe do a little bit more, like you said, go out, make videos and bring the name out there. So like the tree lighting red did a little video and I posted it on the page. Yeah. Maybe we just need to be more vocal and get the word out there that, hey, we're here. I drive around my car. It's pretty much a friggin' billboard for the show right now, along the sides, all over the back window, trying to get people to recognize. And people talk to me at work and say, "What is that?" And I tell them, hopefully we get more listeners and more followers and people paying attention to what we're doing, and hopefully we get the word out there. That's what I want. I just want more people, more questions. You saying hi to more people jumping on all the time, and just seeing more happen when we're doing the shows. And tonight they're all very quiet. And always ask the question like,
Well,
"What are you?"
I'm also not really paying attention to all the chats. So,
Oh, I was gonna say there's nothing here.
I'm trying to listen to you two and look at who's liking. That's the only thing I'm looking at right now. So, right now it's quiet. So. It could be my fault. Jake,
my goal is at least in this next season to get an A-lister. Not saying that anybody we had on here is not, but I'm going to reach out to specifically. I'm going to reach out to Joey Jones, Marine Corps veteran, lost both of his legs, and I want to talk to him about resiliency and how he got into what he's doing now. And like I said, I'm going to reach out to him. Hopefully both of us having an EOD badge will kind of sway that a little bit. But if it don't, I'll try for somebody else.
so one I'm trying for right now is Ryan Hendrickson. He's a former SF guy. He founded the organization called Tip of the Spear. They're in Ukraine right now, demining, and he's doing outstanding things there. The only reason why he hasn't been on the show yet is because he's kind of in Ukraine demining. So that could be one that's coming up.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, all of the other shows that are in Heroes Media, I'd like to interact more with them. You guys do the one show a month where everybody sits together. Maybe we could try something different with that too. Maybe get up with the other guys and the BSC like we're doing tonight. Sitting here talking, and just see what goes on, what they do, what we do, and how we can build a better team. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely help each other
If
grow.
that's possible. Yeah.
It's always good to help each other grow and not try to be selfish about what you're doing and not share what you're doing. And I think that's where we need to be as a veteran group, as a first responder group, as a human group, is helping each other to step up instead of putting people down. And I think we as a platform are doing that. I think the Tip of the Spear, when we do that show is actually on tomorrow at 6 p.m. I think Eastern Standard Time, or 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Actually, it'll be on Tip of the Spear tomorrow night. You two are welcome to join that as well. But there'll be like 75 people on there, so you can come on and hang out.
Look like the Brady Bunch room.
Yeah, it's like the Brady Bunch room on crack. So you just don't get to speak much, but you get to listen to, like you just said, listen to what everyone else is doing, see what they're doing, and applaud them and praise them, and see how we can help them even step up their game as we step up our own.
Is it better
Even
than the monthly pilots
when
meeting?
Willis is on? Yes. When Willis is on, if I go into the chat, first thing he does is, "Oh, you want to jump in? I'll send you an invite." He wants you to get on the show, talk with us, hang out.
Yeah, Willis invites you right to his show, and that's a great thing. I mean, that's good for you too. Get more reps in there. Jump on his show and talk to other people. And we're gonna have his co-host on. Sam Deeds will be on in January. He just signed up to, I think, January 19th or so. He'll be on. So that's another great guest that's going to be on. He's still doing great things advocacy-wise, former Marine Gunny. So it's awesome to have the network to come on here.
Yeah.
For me, what I see for the Misfit Nation in the future is hopefully growing and, like you said, get a sponsor, get a big sponsor that we can all get a better equipment and get our voices out there in a broader space, so we can pay for those advertisements, pay for things, and maybe have someone else do all our social media so we don't have to do it all and spend the hours a day doing that. We can spend our hours actually finding those guests and jumping in and not having Ziva do all the work for us.
Bless her heart.
And she's like a pit bull, so she's
She's good at what she's doing.
She doesn't take no for an answer from people. Today she got 3 people to sign up, so it's good for her. Thank you, Ziva.
On the other side of that door, waiting right now.
She's right there. I can hear her breathing. But as we, Jake, I'll let you start the wrap up. Give your final thoughts for season 4.
Final thoughts for season 4. I loved it. Enjoyed every minute of it. Enjoyed all the guests. And as always, Misfit Nation, ToosDay crew, we love you and thank you.
Steve?
I want to just thank you both. This opportunity has been fun, and we're growing, and hopefully it gets better and better this next year coming up. And as always, I love you all.
Outstanding, fellas. I want to, as we wrap this up, we just want to say thank you to you, the audience, the Misfit Nation. Thank you for always being here for us. Thank you for always pushing us forward. Thank you for doing your downloads on Spotify and all the other apps. And, of course, liking us and subscribing on YouTube. That helps us more than you know. We got 400 episodes in. JD Mass will be number 447. That'll end season 4. 447 to end season 4. So to put that number in your head, 447. We've already recorded 456 and 457 since I forgot to post Tim Collimer's episode onto the podcast apps, and I'll be doing that here soon. He will be episode 457, but he'll be a season 4, 457. So it'll be out of order, but he'll be there. Sorry about that, Tim. Thank you for everyone for being a part of this, and just keep on keeping on. Be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling. You stack those victories daily. That's what we do here, and we want you to keep doing that too. We love you. We'll see you on Thursday for our last actual filmed episode of this year, and have a great holiday season, and stay safe.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night. Love y'all.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites. These sites are located across more than 400 million acres of public lands, including national parks, wildlife refuges, and forests. The lands host activities to fit any lifestyle: hiking, biking, fishing, camping, and much more. Gold Star families are also eligible for these free lifetime passes. Plus, they cover entrance fees for a driver and all passengers in a car, or up to 3 additional adults at sites that charge per person. Obtaining one is easy. Just go to the National Park Service website, nps.gov, or
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.